Welcome back to the Starr Room. I'm your host, Empress Leah Starr, and this is Blueprint to a Millionaire. This show is about more than money. It is about becoming the person God created you to be through faith, purpose, resilience, healing, love, and legacy. Today, we're talking about overcoming loss, walking in purpose, and trusting God through adversity. Today, I'm honored to welcome Dr. Wole Babatunde, a physician, scientist, psychiatrist, author, and man of faith whose life reflects resilience, service, and purpose. Wole, welcome to the Starr Room.
Thank you so much, Empress Leah Starr. I'm so happy to be here today, and I'm really excited, to share my stories. It's always a thing of joy to me to share, just to inspire other people. Hopeful that your audience will be able to pick one or two things here and there to keep them moving despite the challenges that life throws at us from time to time.
Thank you for being here, Wole. Your story, it carries so much depth, and I'm looking forward to this conversation. Wole, you experienced tremendous loss at a very young age. How did losing both of your parents shape you? And what helped you keep moving forward instead of allowing that pain to define you?
Thank you so much, Empress. It was truly very painful to lose both parents early. Um, Maybe less painful was the first one, which was my mom. And what I mean by that is, because we still had my dad, he tried his best to make sure that despite the loss of mom, he tried to be there for us as both parents. So it really became a big shock when he also died when I was 13. And, it was tough. And the toughest was, financial problems, paying school fees became a burden in Nigeria. I was raised and born in Nigeria where people pay school fees to go to school, so it was difficult at times when getting school fees. Having a house on top of my head was hard. I had to like choose where I want to stay per time. And, all of that happened after the loss of dad. And having to decide to go forward was really difficult because of the loss of my both parents very early at the age of 13. But one thing that I believe was very helpful, which I believe I'm trying to use to encourage everyone listening to this, is that no matter what it is, we've got to find a way to make meaning, which I discussed in my book. The first section in my book, Adapt and Advance, is talking about meaning making. Meaning, when we're going through tough seasons, we've got to find a way to make meaning of whatever we are going through in a way that will serve us in the future, or in a way that will be able to go forward without letting those problems or challenges put a ceiling on us or make it impossible for us to go forward. So one meaning I made very early is I will not let the loss of both parents define me in a negative way. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to advance. I'm going to achieve my dreams. And I'm not going to let the lack of support, which was the biggest thing with the loss of both parents, the lack of parental support, I will not let that be an hindrance to me fulfilling my purpose to the maximum possible ability. And I'm grateful to God that that decision was very helpful for me, and I was able to press forward. On one hand, I had the pain, I had the challenges, I had the problems in my hand, but on the other hand, I was able to kind of keep running despite the wounds that I have. It's like running a race with, having a piercing in your leg and you have to keep running. You feel the pain moving, but I had to keep it moving despite the pain. And I'm grateful that I kept it moving. And over time, things got better and easier with time.
Yes, you have to keep going despite the pain. That is powerful. Sometimes the very things that could have broken us become part of what builds our strength and purpose.
Yes.
Your journey, eventually it brought you from Nigeria to the United States and into medicine, research, and leadership. How did your faith help you navigate those major transitions and the uncertainty that came with them?
That's a wonderful question, Empress. My faith helped me to navigate all the major aspects of my life, beginning from the loss of my parents. I was born into a family of faith. Both parents were Christians before they died, and I would say I knew how to pray, I knew how to sing, I knew how to do a few things before their death. So after they were gone, and I was left to myself to fend for myself in quotes. Uh, my faith was one of the very bedrocks that kept me going. Transitioning to the US specifically, I would say the way my faith helped me was one, I believe in seeking I believe in seeking the face of God on major decisions. So I had to pray, like, is this the best decision for me? It's a big transition, it's a major decision. And everything with pros also has cons. So everything that has advantages also has advantages. So coming to the US in itself looked attractive and good, but it also came with its own, challenges that I had to face. I was right at the peak of my career before leaving Nigeria. So coming to the US was like beginning again. Becoming a student, a PhD student again, having to live on a PhD student salary and all of that for a wife, for a family of four at that time. So it was really challenging. And I had to really think through it. Is this what I really want? So I had to sit down and seek God's face. And I believe, from God's word that, I felt that was the next best step for me. But what about the challenges? How do we survive the first few years when I will be a student? And I know I won't be able to do any other job than being a student. At the beginning, my wife could not work on on the visa. We came in as a student visa. So how do we survive? How do we cope and all of that? But some of it I got answers before leaving Nigeria. Some of it I didn't have answer. I just had to move by faith and just keep it moving. And we came over, we kept it moving by faith. I worked very hard and, got a few scholarships here and there, got additional scholarships. Almost every year, I got additional scholarships as I was moving on. So things got slightly easier by the years, completed my PhD, completed my residency, and eventually started working as a psychiatrist in the US. So it eventually made sense at the end, but it was tough going through it. My faith in God saw me through because it helped me to realize that no matter how difficult it is, I can always call on God for help. And I saw him come through so many times, giving help to us.
I love that because faith does not always remove the uncertainty, but it gives us something greater to stand on while we walk through it. One scripture that speaks so powerfully to your journey is Romans chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. That reminds us that even painful seasons can still be used by God.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, where do you see God turning something difficult in your life into purpose?
Thank you so much, and thanks for sharing that Bible verse. I have seven pillar Bible verses. That's number five of them. So, it really spoke to me that you were able to say that. Romans 8:28 is number five of the top seven that I hold on to dearly. I have one for every day, Monday to Sunday. Um, and where back to your question, where I've seen God turn no pain to purpose for me, honestly, multiple times, multiple times. So many pains in my life. An example I would just like to give is failing exams, which I had a number of exams that I failed before passing. And I've seen God come through again and again and again. And this Bible verse is one of my best ones, like which tells us that no matter the pain, God can turn it around for good. Another one, which is my number four, is Proverbs 4:18, which tells us that the path of the just shines brighter and brighter unto the glorious day. And that comes into my mission statement, which tells me everything continues to go better and better and better. God does not have a better yesterday in stock for us. And that's the way I live my life. I believe strongly that I move from one level of success to another level of success, and I'm always reaching forth to the next thing. And I think for me, the few times I failed exams, I remember in my fourth year in medical school, there was some exams I failed. I trusted God. I worked very hard, trusted God, and I saw God turned it around for me, and I was able to pass it eventually when I took the big exam, like after 18 months then. But I trusted God. So I'll wake up 1 a.m. every morning. I'll pray first, then I'll begin to study. And I did that for like almost 18 months. And God came through. My prayers were answered. I passed every single exam at that season. As in that way, I saw that even when things seems to be turning in a way that looks like it will turn bad, God can turn it around and it can turn good. And I was able to successfully graduate from medical school at that point. Some of my colleagues that had this similar situation could not even graduate because of that. But I'm grateful, not to mock them, but I'm grateful that I was able to get radical with God, trust God so much, and God turned it around at that time.
That is such a reminder that God can take what we could not understand at the time and still use it for something meaningful. As a psychiatrist and physician scientist, you see people during some very vulnerable moments. What have you learned about the connection between mental health, faith, identity, and true healing?
And that's a powerful question. Thank you, Empress. As I'm an inpatient psychiatrist, like you said, I see people at their very vulnerable moments. Um, a very large proportion of patients I see regularly are people who have either attempted to take their own lives or maybe they were having thoughts of taking their own lives. I think that's the most vulnerable moment of anybody's life or any vulnerable time anyone can be in. What I've seen is, there's even a lot of science that shows that when people have something to hang their faith on, they tend to do better with some mental health illnesses like depression. Meaning that people do better generally when they seem to have faith in something bigger than them, something higher than them, compared to those who don't have such faith in something. So I would say overall, people who have faith, they tend to do better, and the, having something to anchor your faith on tends to be helpful, specifically for depression or things that make people feel very, very very, very low. So I see that connection that it's helpful at times to have that. At times things just get to people and, they just get to this point where they feel, oh, what's life all about? And, at times people attempt to take their own lives. At times they have thoughts to take their own life. What I always tell them is When you get to that point, seek for help. Even before you get to that point, seek for help. And I've seen transformations again and again in people's life. In as even little as 3, 4 days, you see people turn around, smile, they see a hope, they see a future. At times, people have, all of this inside of them. They just need to get somebody to help them see, you know, like you have it in you, you have the solution in you, you can hang on in faith, you can overcome. You've been through more difficult things in the past, and you can reach on to what helped you in those moments again, for this one. So at times, people just need to be able to see that connection with them. And I see that again and again as I practice, that people get to see it and they get to appreciate it. And, with psychotherapy, with medications all put together, and with a reminder that they have what it takes to deal with these situations, people get better.
Absolutely. Please get the help that you need. Absolutely. Healing is deeper than what people can see on the outside. And I think that is such an important conversation. Your book, Adapt and Advance, a faith based step by step guide to turning trials into triumphs. It comes from lessons you have personally lived. What do you want readers to take away from your story? And what do you want people to remember most about Dr. Wole Babatunde?
The biggest thing I want people to remember is interpret pain as preparation, not punishment. So when you are going through a painful season, when you are going through a painful situation, understand that that pain is a preparation for something better, for something bigger, not a punishment from God or from anything. So rather, see it as a stepping stone. Look at the bigger picture. After all this is said and done, hopefully you follow the right channel for it to turn to a good story. And then you can use your story to inspire other people and to help other people who are going through that similar situation. So, what I want you to remember is you can adapt and you can advance. And one way to do that is make meaning that this pain has not come to stop me. Rather, this pain has come to prepare me for the future, for the greatness, and for the things that are better in my future.
Yes, I love that. At the end of the day, our legacy is really about what we leave in the hearts and lives of other people.
Mm.
Wole, please tell everyone where they can find, adapt, and advance, and how they can connect with you.
So connecting with me is easy. My first name dot last name at outlook.com. Oluwole.babatunde at outlook.com. If you've read my book or you've been blessed, I would like to hear from you. You can send me an email. Finding my book, it's on Amazon primarily. If you just go to Amazon, just type in my name and adapt and advance, it's going to come out, boom, the green book, with somebody jumping off a cliff. So, and we have all the formats that makes it easy for almost every type of reader. I love to read Audible because it's easy for me to listen than to read the real book. So we have the Audible version, we have the paper copy, we have the hard copy, and we also have the ebook for those who like to read on their phone. So all of these four different formats are available on Amazon, and you can get a copy. But please, if it blesses you, send me an email, leave a review on Amazon for us so that other people can know you've been blessed by it and can also help them to find the book. I also make a video every month on YouTube. And my name on YouTube is Oluwole Babatunde. My first name, last name, then 1870. That's my name on YouTube. So you could subscribe to my channel, and one new video every month. Hopefully will be a blessing to you there. And finally, I post one post every day on Facebook, usually a quote from the book or something, just to encourage people. You could look for me also on Facebook. and follow me, Oluwole Babatunde.
Beautiful. I definitely encourage everyone to connect with Wole and check out the book. Wale, thank you again for joining us. It has truly been an honor. And thank you to everyone watching. If today's conversation encouraged you, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who may need this message. I'm Empress Leah Starr. Keep building your blueprint to a millionaire. God bless, and we'll see you in the next episode. Hi, I'm Empress Leah Starr, host of the Starr Room. If you have a story of faith, purpose, resilience, business, or personal growth that could inspire others, we would love to hear it. Apply today and share your blueprint to a millionaire journey. I can't wait to meet you in the Starr Room.